Wow, it's Mask Fan Addict time again already? Seriously? Okay, I guess it is. It must be time because you're up here in the attic above Horror Hotel once again in the glamorous and scenic villa known as Dr. Lady's House of Poverty right here in glamorous Chatfield, Ohio. Welcome back to the attic. You know, today's mask is not really one of those super high-end, high-dollar collector pieces. Not every mask has to be like that. I think there are a lot of, you know, cheap, mass-produced, simple masks that are of some merit, that are of interest for one reason or another. And today I have one such mask. It came out in the year 2008. And was unceremoniously discontinued shortly thereafter. I don't know why, but it was only in production for a little over a year. And, okay, now I have to warn you. I have to warn you collectors out there. A lot of times when I bring these on, I at least brush the hair up a little, or sometimes they've been customized just a little bit. Sometimes Laura has done the hair and I tell you my wife did the hair on this one, or sometimes I touch up the paint or some such. Well, not in this case. Tonight's mask is exactly as it came from the manufacturer, which was, who was it? Don Post Studios in 2008. Quality control was a bit of a problem at that time, but I think the mask is still of interest, and here it is. It's called V.I.P. That's right, V.I.P. Now the V and the P obviously stand for Vincent and Price, respectively, because this is obviously a mask of old age Vincent Price. Vincent Price being a man of such stature and so legendary in the genre, oddly enough, he hasn't had that many masks based on his appearance, largely because he didn't often play monsters. He didn't often wear scary makeup or anything like that. He was just usually Vincent Price. So it took until 2008 for somebody to come up with a mass-produced quasi Vincent Price mask, V.I.P. And well, it looks a lot like, to me it looks a lot like the character from Edward Scissorhands. Do you remember Edward Scissorhands? The sort of mad scientist inventor type chap who had the sort of neo steampunk cookie cutter laboratory thing going on. Do you remember that? Yeah, he looks like that. And I think whether or not you knew this was supposed to resemble Vincent Price, I think it would still be cool for Halloween, for haunted houses and haunted mazes and so forth, because it looks like a good sort of all-purpose mad scientist. It looks like a mad scientist, and it could also be used as like a sorcerer or a wizard or a magician type of character. And well, let me also point out that it's nice that for once I'm not the only creepy old man with his hair falling out up here in the attic. They did not really do a wonderful job with the hair on these. These were not high-end collector pieces. So if you find one of these on online somewhere or in a costume shop somewhere, you're going to want to probably do something with that hair. You're probably going to want to do something with that hair. Probably you're going to want to do something with that hair. Probably. Because, well, it's pretty skimpy and it's not stuck on there really wonderfully, and the glue is visible and so forth. So, yeah, you might need to do some work on it. But the thing is, it's an old age Vincent Price mask, and I think that alone makes it cool and makes it worthy of some interest and makes it kind of a neat piece of horror movie history and mask history and fantasy history, if you look at it as the inventor from Edward Scissorhands, who of course would not have his hair all like, you know, the wild man of Borneo or something, the way this turned out. You'd want to do something with that hair in any case. So another good thing about it, again, it was kind of cheap. It sold for around 40 bucks. How do I know? Well, it says $39.99 on there, but here's the deal, is when Don Post Studios closed its doors in 2012, the value of Don Post masks tended to go up rather than down, you see. And in spite of that, you could still find a lot of them at cheap prices. This one, I would point out, marked down to $25 right there. So 25 bucks right there. And this is not an isolated incident. There were lots of Don Post masks, and still are, at amazingly marked down prices from certain suppliers who aren't really hip to the whole thing of Don Post having gone under in 2012 and the masks being, you know, more sought after by collectors now. You can still get a lot of Don Post masks at very reasonable prices, this being one of them. And if you can score one for in the neighborhood of, well, I would advise you to pay $300 for one. I barely advise you to pay $40, but if you can find one for somewhere in that neighborhood, I think it might be worth having in your collection, or just wearing at Halloween or whatever, just to be a creepy old man, or a mad scientist, or like I said, a sorcerer or a magician type of character, an old wizard. It's just a neat face. It's a very nicely sculpted, it's a beautifully sculpted thing. The only problem is the hair application. So you may want to work on the hair, or have someone you know work on the hair, and I think you can make something really, really special and really cool out of it. The pretty obscure and seldom seen 2008 Don Post mask V.I.P. obviously based on Vincent Price. And well, until next time, I'll see you on the Vincent Price is Right. No, it didn't make any sense. I don't know. Just get off my case.